Here we go, baby.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Guten Winter. Welcome to all the chutzniks that are back in the shir. If you fell a little bit, it's okay. We're starting a brand new parak today. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Cheskel Gabay.
Cheskel Gabay from Los Angeles. Love the Los Angeles guys. Givaldik, check this out. This is from Kobe Sela on his status. The two people that I very much love are fighting for my attention. This is like when Trump was speaking, I guess, in the Knesset, and we had a shir over here, and he had both screens on. Shashem Yishmor Li Al Shneim.
I guess you trumped it.
I need to share a story with you that I hate when he takes his one ha'ara and he uses it in the first email.
Harry, you're just biding your time for that one.
I need to share a story with you that happened today. This is from a good friend from Lakewood. A wife of someone in my shul walked up to me today and said, I just want you to say thank you for getting my husband to start learning the daf. Because last night when my husband came home from shul, I said to him, I saw that this year you danced different than any other year since we were married. We were married for 20 years. My husband responded, this is the first time I ever really felt being part of Simchas Torah because I started learning Daf Yomi. So I felt maybe to dance properly, I'm finally part of the Torah. Rebelli, I need to tell you, I was so nisragish, I literally started crying like a baby. Ashrecha v'ashrechelgecha, it should be a tremendous chus for you and your family. Amen. Effie Grossman learning the daf with his baby sister. I love the no hands approach. 2-speed. The baby's on 1 speed, the shir's on 2-speed. Nachvish Bain, father and son dismantling the sukkah while keeping up with the daf. Thank you, Rebelli. Shalom, thanks for everything you do. Your story of the guy coming to the shir even if he sleeps, and the importance of what we teach our kids is chosh to us. Reminds me of a friend in Beitar. He grew up in America in a regular MO family. His father learned the daf, and every time he would make a siyum, he would take the entire family out for Carvel's ice cream. Who was you telling me about Carvel's? Somebody was just telling me about Carvel's. My friend grew up with a sweet taste for Torah learning. He credits those trips to Carvel's to inspire him to take his learning seriously. And Baruch Hashem today, he's a Talmud Chacham who has learned through Shas, most likely a few times over, plus some. Kastril Silver. Personal story, chizuk, message. Thank you so much. Coming up on a year with the daf after joining the amazing Sanhedrin program. I'm very much an all or nothing thinker, and MDY seems to be the cure for that kind of thinking. When it comes to the daf, I do what I can. Some days full attention, some days 2 times speed. Some days are better and some worse, but it's not about the daf, it's about the yomi. I'm trying to carry this into Shnai Mikra, into doing Shnai Mikra. I think often people get scared by the amount there is to do with 2 readings along with the Targum. If I can't do part of it, then what's the point? This is where MDY comes in and tells me that it's about putting in the time to attempt Shnai Mikra, not specifically completing all parts. A read-through of the parasha is a win. A second read-through, amazing. A Targum, Gishmak. And if I miss a week, there's always next week to try again. Thank you, MDY, for helping me change my mindset and take on more by taking on less on myself. Givaldik. Rabbi Isai. The sponsors, Givaldik, themselves sponsored by David Salomon. Dedicated in memory of Avi Mari, Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zichron Levracha. Mesechel sponsors anonymous Lili Nishmas Doidi Shlomi Yehuda Zichron Levracha ben Shmuel Chaim Zichron Levracha Shoka Veloma Kodshim Kol Chayav. Anonymous the Schus Refuah Shleima Nochem Tzvi Ben Yenta. Sponsored by Skyber Capital. In honor of our friends Meir Kovacs Taki and Shamshi Shlafrik for the devotion to Torah study and this year. Joel Gedalius, Lili Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, anonymous, Vatzlocha Baruchnis Ubegashmias. MDY Coffee Corner month. Rivka and Dr. Avram Epstein pray for a complete and speedy recovery for Dr. Harold Goldmeyer. Monthly sponsors, anonymous from London, Parnas B'Shefa, Yuda Lashinsky, in honor of my father, 6 cycle of the daf. Your big heart and giving to the community is an inspiration for all of us. And that is Bracha Adlidai, Yom Ben Chava, and Baruch Tzvi Nissen Ben Shoshana, Leah. Anonymous Lashon Tova Mitzugah L'Schus Eliyov Ben Chaya Dvayer, and in honor of my Chavrusa Simchala Ben Tzin Glicksman. If we could close all the windows, please. There's going to be a lot of noise in a second. Mazel Tov to Talia on her birthday. Urgent for Shleima for Chaim Yosef Arya Ben Sarah Rezel. Weekly sponsors HYK Ventures for Shleima for Elka Baschana. Anonymous in the merit of bracha bat chana for good health, anonymous, for a winter filled with growth. Daily sponsors, Laufman family. Nishmas, our mother, Sanya Bas Eliezer, on the yard side today, or Nishama should have an Aliyah, Mordechai Sapaznik. Thank you, Hashem, for letting all the hostages free. Anonymous Abu, Kiloi Samurach Hamecho, Hatoiv, 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 Kiloi Cholu Rachamecho, Veyamirachei, Kiloi Samuch Hasodecho, Kimeyo Voilo, Kimeyo, 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 Ay, 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 Hatoiv, 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 Veyamirachei, Kimeyo, MDY Staten Island, happy birthday to our ambassador Mechi Oberlander from your Staten Island family, Larry and Marsha Loeb, Refuah Shlema, Baracha, Bluma, Bas Devar Avigail, Refuah Shlema, Sydney Tannenbaum, Lezechin Ishmas, Avi Moiri, Menachem Yitzchak, Ben Shmuel Shmelka on his yard side. Monthly. Refuah Shlema, Yonatan Eitan ben Besheva Bracha, Refuah Shlema Mordechai ben Esther, Refuah Hayelet Daniel Zev ben Ayelet Esther. Yeshar Koyach. Here we go. Boys side, brand new perek. Kol hapsulim sheshochatu shchitas and ksheiro. When it comes to shchita, even someone who's puzzle can shecht. Shashchita ksheiro bezorim. A shchita is kosher even with the Yisrael. We'll start off the shir. Moirdik is a little bit of a kars atay.
לאדוני ראש הממשלה, ברוך הבא, כבוד גדול שהגעת לבית המקדש! זה יום היסטורי בשבילנו!
חבר'ה, אחורה בבקשה, תנו לו לעבור.
לקח את כלי השרת ותעשה איתו מצוות זריקת הדם.
אין בעיה, תביא לי את הכלי.
מצטער ביבי, אבל מצוות ההולכה זה לכהנים בלבד.
Yes.
That's it. It's over.
No. Well, we're going to see in a second. It was very quick, but it says, Hakoin hagodol me'echav. Hakoin hagodol me'echav. I'm not going to go back, but that's what it said. The shchita is kosher with the Yisrael. Even Bibi could do shchita. Bibi's wife could do shchita. But the Kabbalah Saddam, no. Shashchita or Halacha, Shashchita ksher bezarim, ubenashim, uba'avadim, unbelievable. An eved, only chayiv with mitzvahs kiisha, ubitmein. So this we're going to see is in a category on its own. He's tamei, and those who say that it's aser to do shchita when you're tamei, those who say that it's a derabanan, we're concerned that you might touch the meat, the dead animal after you shechted it. Va'afil b'kachim kachim. So let's just see the list. There's a new and improved list. He took the original list that I did, and he improved it. There's chatos, asham, oilo, shal mitzvah. That's the kachim kachim. Kachim kalim, it's like the Korban Pesach, the Toida, the Nazir. He has a long beard. The Meiser has a red dot. Each one with its own. So even the kachim kachim, even if you're shechting a chatos, oilo, you're allowed to shecht. Even Yisrael could shecht it. Uvad shelo yutmeim noigim b'basar. Now, what kind of tameh we're talking about? Just interesting. There's a little bit of a problem. If somebody went to a funeral and he touched the knife, if somebody goes to a funeral, he touched the mace, he touched avi avos atuma, he becomes one level lower than avi avos, he becomes an avatuma. If an avatuma touches a kli, a knife, the knife is going to become a rishon. Goes down one level each time. So how could he touch a knife? The knife is going to make the animal tameh. So either we're talking about that he was touched, he's tameh because he touched a sheretz. So sheretz starts off at a lower tumah. It starts at the avatuma, not a viyavais tumah. It's avatuma. So the person touching the sheretz becomes a rishon, and when you touch a knife, it doesn't become tameh. Or Like back in the day, does anybody remember when we started using metal knives for bris milah? We used to use rocks or stick by David HaMelech. David HaMelech, when he killed Goliath and the metal separated to let the stone in, so as a karsel type to the metal, we started using metal for bris. So it says Rashi, you could use you could use a stick to do that. It doesn't have to be tamei. The stick does not makabel tuma. As we're going to see, we could be talking about a long knife. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be touching anything. Whole sugis before we're discussing. Have a seat, please. Thanks. We're talking about the machshav of pigol chutz l'zman chutz l'makom. Who could have the wrong intent? A person performing the avodah. So if a woman goes into the Beis Hamikdash and performs the shechita, and during the shechita she thinks about chutz l'zman, she's gonna eat this carbon in 5 days from now. She's gonna apply the blood in whoever's gonna apply the blood in 3 days from now. She could ruin the carbon because since she has the right to do shechita, she has the right to have the wrong machshava. Lefi chaim poislim b'machshava. Top of Amud Beis, Amud Aleph, Leiv. V'kulon shekiblu sadom chutz l'zmanoi v'chutz l'mkoimoi. Im yesh dam ha'nefesh, yachzer ha'kosher v'yikabel. Oh, if Bibi comes and he's makabel the dam, he does kabbalas hadam, and he has the wrong thought, he tries to ruin it, it's nothing. Why? Because he's Yisrael. Yisrael can't have the wrong thought by kabbalas hadam. So what do? You redo it. If there's a possibility to read, how's the possibility? If the animal's still spewing out blood, still the blood is coming out, you can redo it. If there's enough good blood, not the first blood, which is the dam or, not the last blood, which is dam tamsis, the dam itself. Shalom aleichem kim tzaran. We have 2 seats over here by the guest table. It's mamash safe for you guys. One guy's gonna have to leave. No, we have over here. Kim tzaran. Come over. Where are you guys from? All 3 of you from London?
No, he's from Montreal.
Montreal. Shalom aleichem. What's your name? Shalom aleichem. Okay, somebody give him a gemura. That looks like a gemara. No, Zevachim. That's the English. No, give him the Hebrew one. He wants the Hebrew probably. Okay. Kibel HaKosher v'nosan l'Apostle. If the Kohen did kabbalas hadam, so the kabbalas hadam is good. There's already a kabbalas hadam, and he gave it over to some Yisrael standing there. So what do? It doesn't ruin it. As long as the kabbalas hadam was done properly with a kosher person, you give it over to the apostle. Nothing like apostle. Yachzor kosher gives it back to the kosher guy. Okay. So now I heard a Maisa, the Shemaka Maisa happened this year, that a Chazanishnik in Bnei Brak, his son-in-law is Chabatsker. And the first year, this mamash happened now. The guy comes after the Suda, the father goes into the house and puts on his PJs and comes into the sukkah. He tells his son, where are you going? He says, no, we don't sleep in the sukkah. There's some akifim, the kofim, the whole zach, can't. We don't sleep in the sukkah. He says, what do you mean you don't? He says, if you don't sleep in the sukkah, there's going to be a get right after Yontif. You better be sleeping in the sukkah. Kids are back and forth. So they came with a good pshara. The pshara was that they'll take a bed, a 10-tefachim bed, and the son-in-law would sleep under the bed. So he's sleeping under the bed is not in the sukkah. But for him, he's a chazanishnik. It wasn't 10 tefachim. I just had to tell you this ma'aseh shayim. Kibu biyiminoi, v'nosan l'smoiloi, yachzer liyiminoi. If we learned the whole sugya that you have to accept the blood with your right hand, accepting with the left hand is no good. He did it the right way. But then later on, he got tired, he put it in his left hand. Yachzer liyiminoi. Not a problem. You put it back in the right. Kibu b'kli kodesh, kabbalas hadam, in the proper kli, v'nosan kli, holding, poured it into your negovas or plastic thing, not the end of the world. Yachzer li kli kodesh. Nishbach min hakli ala ritzpa v'asafai. If it fell onto the ground and you gather it. So we already learned. If it goes directly from the animal's neck onto the ground, there's nothing you can do about it. It's possible. But over here, there was a real Kabbalah Saddam into a Kli, and from the Kli it fell on the floor. So what do? You gather it up. Here we have a video to find it. The beginning is a little gory, to tell you the truth. This time it worked. No, last time it wasn't. Then he takes that from the vacuum cleaner, from the Kinko. That's the glass thing from the Kinko. You could do that. Why? Because, I don't know if did they show that he accepted the blood originally? It was straight on the floor. Oh, it's a mess up. It has to be into a Kli. Okay. If you do this way, this is aser, and if it goes first into the Kli, then spills onto the floor, kosher. I didn't say this story last night, but I had a mais maush today. I reached out to our very good friend Rabbi Ari Chaimowitz from the video Day in Life. What a day! That has like 55,000 views in English, 40,000 views in Hebrew, and he never did anything in Hebrew. It was the first one in Hebrew. Says he was going through a very hard kufa. So I reached out to him before Yonta. I said, I left him a quick message. His kid, a very young kid, got an infection or something, ICU, whole thing. So he texts me back. He says, Baruch Hashem, I'm out. It was 21 days of mamish, agmas nefesh and kamo. You can't even imagine. He's a person who hasn't missed a daf since he took the first what a day in Bava Metzia or something, right? And he tells me, I fell off the daf in the hospital, and my heart like, wow. He says, Beis Hashem, I was mekabel myself in some Torah, mekabel myself to jump on one of these days. One of these days? What does one of these days mean? So I told him, look, I wasn't going to say this, Mike, so I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it now. Told him on the thing that there was a teacher who was coming to class. Well, this is not Stama class. He's in a special school for delinquent kids. These kids, some of them were arrested, some of them this, crazy place. And they warned him, this is like, top of the top. You have to, so he comes in there the first day, he's holding his, his box with his books and his pens and his this, and he's waddling through the hallway, and he tries to get the door open, and then the box hits the wall, and he goes flying, and he hits the ground with the box. And everything goes, and the whole class, they start whistling and laughing, and it's like Yehudim. And he gets up, you're talking about a Jewish school. Stop it. Bunch of chayas. What would you do? First day of school, you wanna have some sort of control over here. And he himself caused an out of control situation. He gets up, he brushes himself up, he says, everybody falls. But it's how you get up. I just demonstrated to you how you fall and how you get up. You get up, and he gives a whole drasha, and when he's finished with the drasha, they all clapped, and he started his thing. He says, I'm looking at you, Ari. Everybody falls. Some are forced to fall. Listen, he's in the hospital. This kid is still not 100%, still have to daven, but he's going to be there. 21 days with a small child, 2-year-old, whatever, in ICU. It happens, but then you have to get up. It's Motzei Simchas Torah for the Olam in Chutz La'aretz. Some people fell because of Yontif, whatever it is. We get up and we go weiter. Here we go, brand new parak. Kibel b'kli kodesh v'nosan kli choil, yachzer l'kli kodesh. Nishbach ben akli ala ritzpa v'asofa kosher, if it fell on the floor and you gathered it, it's kosher. Nisane al gavai kevesh. Rabbi said we had all of this, and that's why it's familiar, and that's why today's daf is super easy. This is Nisane al kevesh. I'm just reminding you, it's not the best one, but whatever. Pouring the blood on the actual ramp is not the way to do it. Oh, this is an upgrade right now. Shaloi keneged ha'yisod, that's another halacha. Shaloi keneged ha'yisod is in addition. It's not Nisan al gabe kevesh, shaloi keneged ha'yisod. Nisan al gabe kevesh, period. New halacha. Shaloi keneged ha'yisod. Check this out. Brand new technology. I kid you not when I tell you that we hired a guy. We haven't seen much from him yet, but we hired him just for these kind of things where he's working very stark on the Beis HaMikdash. This is all his. This is all our in-house stuff. Shleikin side is all the green area. You could only pour the blood where there's a green base. Again, let me do it again. Not this one, this one. He designed the Beis Hamikdash now that we're going to be able to hover in different places, go from place to place. So here's the bird's eye view. You come back down. There's parts of the Mizbeach that don't have a base. You see right over here where it's red, no base. Over there you cannot pour the blood. Where it's green, there's a little bit, it juts out a little bit. That's where you can pour the blood. And Yossi was very into that we have to hire this guy, even though it's a lot of money, but he's going to 3D the entire Beis Hamikdash in a way that nobody else has. So basically, we're working on it. I contacted him a few hours before the show. I said I need you to render this in high resolution, blah, blah, blah. He says, yeah, I could probably do it. Okay, so Givaldik. Shleikin Yisoid. Nosan is an itonim lemata lemala. Where's the Nisonim lemata lemata? Oh, here we go. So here we have the red line. The chatos goes above the red line. The shlom goes below the red line. In addition to the chatos, there's one bird. The oila sa'oiv goes above the red line. So if he took the chatos blood and he put it below the red line, it doesn't even, whatever, it's very heavy. So use the left hand. You're right. Here's the right hand. It flies also, it like hovers. Oh, you saw that kind of.
Wrong place. Corner,
Yeah, no, that's yeah, whatever. Kasha v'maisa. So you put the blood above the red line instead of below the red line. Above the red line or below the red line, it gets in the wrong place. There's also a Maisa that has no shaykhs to the sugya, but it hit my head when we were learning it's an itonim lemata lemala. So there's a Geshmaka story once. It's a crazy story. I'm sure it's 100% true. There's a yeshiva that there was right next to the yeshiva. There's a very old man that used to live next to the yeshiva, and the Zevachim used to visit him all the time. It was a big part of the yeshiva. They chesed, go visit him. One day this old man was nifter, and the Zevachim had a fear that it was big into the Tuchim Mason. Then they would take the bodies, and then they didn't want that. So they took him and brought him to the dormitory, and they kind of tried to hide him. But eventually the police came, and when the police came, so they started putting tables and mattresses, the whole thing. They didn't want to hear about it. They brought a bunch of guys and they started moving stuff, and finally they go up into the dormitory, and they find the stretcher with the mace all wrapped up. So they took the mace, and when they get to the hospital, the mace starts moving. So what's going on? So they unwrap him. They see the yeshiva bacher in there. Meanwhile, they were able to take him from Lamata to Lamata. I just thought about the Lamata Lamala because they hit him down, but they made him go up. They pretended. They put all these mattresses because they wanted them to go find something upstairs. Kids are, I just thought I would share it because it's very negeya. You're welcome. V'zanitanim Lamala Lamata. V'zanitanim b'fnim b'chutz. Here, this is b'fnim, this is b'chutz. You see this? Oh, we have the heichal on the right. We have the mizbeach that we're familiar with on the left. That's b'chutz. B'fnim and b'chutz. So if somebody put the blood, b'fnim you have the menorah, and you also have something called the mizbeach haktoiris. It's mizbeach hazav. Here, Yoshi did this one. It's slow, it's short, it's made out of gold. He put the blood on there instead of on the outer one. You mixed it up. Instead of putting it in Yom Kippur, you put it inside, put it outside. So inside, outside. If there's still blood squirting out, so go ahead and receive the blood. If we look at the words in the Mishnah, it says, if you're apostle, you're Yisrael, and you perform shchita and ksheira. If you read it, it seems like it's not the right thing to do. If you did it after the fact, ksheira. Shechatu. If they did it, we don't want a woman coming in shechting. If she did it, okay, it's kosher. But that's not true. It's l'chatchila. Shachadu di'avidin, l'chatchila loy. Seems like l'chatchila not. V'riminu v'shochat shchita b'zor kshero. Shchita, when it comes to Yisrael, is kosher. How do I know shchita kshero b'zor? There's somebody in all the way in Masechtas Brachas. That was a long time ago. I don't know if anybody remembers. Somebody almost died because of this drasha. He said this drasha, they almost took his life. No? Don't remember? Shmuel. He was a little kid, maybe 2 years old. He darshan that exactly. He said in front of Eli HaKohen that Yisrael, they were looking for a kohen. He says, what's the problem? Yisrael could shecht. And Eli HaKohen said, you're right, but I got to kill you. And then that's when Chana said, we should sing it, Lamaisa. No? Nachman? Let's go. Go, but help them out. What?
I don't know it.
So say the high part. The high part. How does the high part go?
I want to sing it, but he uses it.
Now you know what's going on in the Hebrew Shir in seconds. Leave it. It's the first time we ever had a guitar solo. Yofi. Yesterday in Mildi Hebrew Shir, I'm telling you, the Ma'aseh Shaya, not prepared, nothing. I was telling the Olam that in middle Shir, I was looking around, and all of a sudden I see my pet peeve. I see a guy that's not part of the Shir go over to the table of the food over there and walk away with 3 giant things, just walk away. And as I'm saying the story, he puts on the clip of me doing it. Within Toich Kedei, as I'm saying it, he had a boom. I don't know how he does it, man. It's just like, says the Gemara. Get over. Zipline. By the way, if you say get over to him, he'll be here in 4 seconds. I don't know how, he'll be here. And I put this one. מה זה? זה רייסה. איך הוא מצא את זה? הוא מחכה לזה. Who's the guy taking food home? Caught him. These days. Very good. That was unbelievable. Yeah. I'm scared to even say it. Tonight I'll say it 4, but it's already prepared. The 4 times. Oh my gosh, okay. No, Efshataka, you take over in the morning. Oh. Says the Gemara. Oh, so we're holding my Shmuel. Shmuel said this drasha. So what? That Yisrael, it's known that Yisrael can do shchita, shachit l'kshem zarim, v'noshim, avadim, v'tveim, v'afil b'kotche kotchem. Maybe shchita is only by a kohen. Amris, v'chimayim basel. What's your reason to say only a kohen? B'klal shenemar, v'ato uvonecho itcha tishmur skunaschim l'chol dvar hamizbeh. You have to watch and keep everything, anything that has to do with the mizbeach. Yochal av shchita. What's anything that has to do with the mizbeach? Everything, including shchita. Tamad loymar v'shochad is ben abokel fnei Hashem v'ikrivu v'goymer. You love it when it says v'goymer, right? Where's that? Anything in time it says v'goymer, you got to go to the end of the pasuk. V'shochad is ben abokel fnei Hashem. So the beginning of the pasuk is shochat, but then it says v'ikrivu, and we learned already v'ikrivu means kabbalas hadam. In other words, Look, there's even an asnachta under the Hashem. I'm changing it, by the way. I finally went into the Bar Ilan. It's going to say Hashem from now, not Yud, Kuf, Vav. Anyway, V'shach has been abagel, and it's going to. I'm taking off the timing, which I did once, but they popped back on. V'shach has been abagel lefnei Hashem. Kama. What?
I thought you switched that always. I didn't realize that was natural.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. It used to be the other way. Maybe I switched it. I'm going back. Let's try it without, because people said it's confusing. V'krivu b'nei Aaron HaKohanim is a new thing. In other words, the V'shachar is Yisrael, and from V'krivu on is b'nei Aaron has to be a Kohen. Mikabala ve'elech mitzvahs kuhuna. Only from that point V'krivu is a Kohen. Limid al shchita shekshir b'chol alam. So the question is, how come the Mishnah seems like it's talking about a b'diavad? It's not the right thing for a woman, for a Yisrael to do shchita. No. You could bring your wife to do shchita in the Beis Hamikdash. It would be an honor. But there is one part of the whole list there that's not a good. It's not a good thing to do, and that's tamei. A tamei person should not be performing the shchita. Why? By the way, stam a side note. In order for something to become tamei, it has to be mukhshel l'kabel tuma. We speak about it all the time. For instance, a fruit, in order for it to become tamei, you have to pour water on it. For meat, in order for the meat to become tamei, you have to pour also water or blood. The blood of the shechita and the Beis Hamikdash does not work, but you don't need to be machshel l'kabel tuma because the kedusha, the chavivus hamitzvah, whatever it is in the Beis Hamikdash, gives it the ability to become tamei as is. Okay. That's why it seems like it's only with the Eved, but actually the entire mission is the Chatchila besides the Tamei. Now the Gemara goes into the Tamei. The Eved Shapir Dami, what? If a Tamei person performs the Shechita, it's okay. V'reminu v'samach v'shachat. We have two psukim, one after another. Pasuk Daled and Hey. One says v'samach, lean on the animal. Performance, the smicha on the animal, put all your weight on its head, and then it says v'shachat. That's called a hekesh. Since they're so close to each other, we're going to learn one thing from the other. Ma smicha b'tahirim, av shchita b'tahirim. If in order to perform smicha on an animal, you have to be tar. So shchita also. So it seems like it's a first pasuk that you have to be tahar when you perform the shchita, and if you're not tar, the shchita is no good. Says Gemara, midrabanan. No. The isser to perform shchita is only the Rabbanah. Ma'aseh smicha, why? D'chsev l'fnei Hashem. You should perform the smicha in front of Hashem, meaning in the Azara. Shchita nami haksiv l'fnei Hashem. It should be in front of Hashem. There's I'm not saying this is la halacha. I'm throwing this out. There are people that argue, but think about what do you have to be mechaven in Shmoneh Esrei? Or I'll rephrase it. What thing if you're not mechaven, you're not yoytz in Shmoneh Esrei? So everybody's going to say what? The first brachas, the first three brachas. So the Brisker Rav says that if you're not mechaven l'fnei Hashem, you're not yoytz in Shmoneh Esrei. In other words, if you forget in middle Shmoneh Esrei that you're standing in front of Hashem, then it's not a Shmoneh Esrei. That's what he says. Huh? Is there Reb Chaim? I wasn't sure if it's Reb Chaim. Okay, Reb Chaim says it. Okay, good. The Pirush HaMilim is one thing, okay, but L'fnei Hashem, this idea of you standing what? No, but I'm saying even if we don't pass in like Reb Chaim, it's a good idea of like you should know that you're standing L'fnei Hashem. So that's the Gemara. Shchita has the same word. Shchita nami yoksiv L'fnei Hashem. You have to be in the Azara. You have to be. It's not enough. So how could you be in the Azara if you are tamei? Says Gemara, I have a great idea. Efshar da'avid sakin aruka. Maybe you made a very long knife. V'shachit. Here we actually have a video of how that's done. This is mamish kemat real. It looks real. What? I did? Yeah, we should find that picture compared to this. Bibi's going to show up in a second. It's his bodyguards. That part. Okay. Oh, I have to show you this. This is basically you could give share. Anybody could give share. This guy does not exist, right?
טוב, סיימנו את הפרק של השחיטה. עכשיו כל הזרים לרדת מהזום, מכאן הצפייה רק לכהנים בלבד. מושקוביץ, אתה כהן? לא. אז תרד מיד מהזום.
He even has the nanach kind of laugh. Yeah. It's a little scary. Mama's scary. There's going to be a shir in Yiddish. That's crazy. Says the Gemara. So I have an eitzah. When it comes to shchita, I have an eitzah. But I don't have such a good idea for smicha. How are you gonna shchita? I'm using a tool, so I can use a long tool. But the smicha, it has to be with my hands. What am I gonna do? Says Gemara, what's the problem? You'll stand here. We have a little bit of a video. You'll stand on the outside of where you're allowed to stand, and you'll stick your hands in here, right over here. I told him to do like a laser. You know these the laser alarms that you can't go past the laser beam. So he'll be standing on the outside of Nikoner, and the animal's inside, and he'll do the. What's the problem? Oh, but there's a. What's the problem? Oh. So he put his hand in. He put a little bit of his hand inside the azara. The Gemara understood it's okay, but it's not okay. Why is it not okay? Because for a laser lamashal, it wouldn't be okay. You would notice that your hand is in there, and so too when it comes to anything else. If you put a little bit of your body inside the azara, it says if your whole body is in the azara, bia b'miktsas, a little bit of going in, shema bia is considered as if your whole body went in. All right, so that's why you cannot do smicha in such a way, but you could do that. That's the difference between smicha and shchita. Shchita I could do with a tool. I'll stand completely outside of the azara, zero of my body, not even one finger inside the azara. I'm just going to use an extended knife. Whereas it doesn't have to be the BB knife. It could be like the animal's literally right there, and I'm using 2-foot long knife. But when it comes to smicha, there's no way for me to stand outside and do smicha inside, because once I put my hand inside, it's all over. I'm over the isser of a tummy going into the azara. Rav Chizah says the opposite. Yes, I have this hekesh. So he says no. The Torah says mafurish that you have to be tar when you do shchita, not a derabbanan. Midoraisa, a tamei cannot perform shchita. He takes it out of the Mishnah. So too, when I perform the smicha, you have to be tar. Ma'ishna shchita d'chsiv lifnei Hashem. Daf Amud Beis Amud Aleph. As the Gemara, if by shchita it says lifnei Hashem, and that's how I know that you cannot be tamei when you perform the Amud Beis Amud Beis Leiv Amud Beis. What did I say? Loi, it's leiv. Smicha nami ksiv lifnei Hashem. So why do I need a hekesh? It says mafurish. Lifnei Hashem, to do smicha you have to be inside the azara. Says Gemara, he holds no, you can just put your hand in. He mixes bia shmei bia. He doesn't know the mixes shmei bia. Mixes bia loy shmei bia. I could put my hand in, and that's not considered me going into the Beis Hamikdash. Turning at the daf, Adar Global Specialist in International Financial Services, anonymous. As the schus v'atzlochin ruchnis and gashmi is omein, anonymous in the schus of and support of Torah that all tests should come back 100% healthy for me and my family. Shchita nami efshad ovet sakin aruka v'shachit. Why? We have an eitzah. He could do shchita, even though he's not in the azara, by using a longer knife. Homani Shimon atimni. Shimon, some say, every time we have his name, was he from Tayman? Was he from Yemen? Was he from a place called Tayman? Whatever it is, that was his name. Shimon atimni. He holds that the shochet has to be inside the azara. You can't stand outside. The sanyo. The Tanakhama holds like what we said until now, that the animal must be inside the Beis Hamikdash in the azara, not the one performing the shechita. The one performing the shechita could stand outside in Shari Nikoner in the Nashim over there. But he argues, and this is what he holds. How do you know that the hands of the shochet should be even closer to the heichal than the actual animal? Which is not. Some say it's not literally. All he means is, how do you know that the shochet has to be standing inside the azara? Talmud loymar b'shochet is ben abokar lefnei Hashem. Shochet is ben abokar yeh lefnei Hashem. We learned that the actual shochet has to be in front of Hashem. By the way, today is the yahrzeit of the Rivnitzer Rebbe, Zeichet Tzadik L'Bracha. I had the schos as a child, and it's a very rare thing because my father is Litvish, and my father didn't go to any Rebbes. Once in a while, he took me once to the Vizhnitzer Tish, just to see. But he loved the Rivnitzer Rebbe as a Litvak, I would even call him a Misnagid back then. But he had some sort of draw to him. He felt that he was a Ish Kaddish Ma'id, and he used to take me a lot. And it was like to sit on his lap many times. He'd put me on his lap, and he would say Tehillim, and we would go Motzei Shabbos, way after Shabbos, and he'd be in the middle of Shal Shudas. And they'd do Mincha, don't ask. It was a whole, but, so today's his yahrzeit, and his Neshama should have an Aliyah. We'll learn a little bit, Lila Nishmasai. I think you wrote a book about him.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a story.
Story's in that book.
I know. Okay, but whatever. I'm not going to go.
You grew up to be a gadol adon. That was the story. You said you're going to be a gadol adon.
Cut. That's something you should cut.
That was the story.
I don't care what you ruined the story. You're right. That's not. No, that's.
Finally, you said the story today.
That one is a little off. Omer Ula, Omer Shlakish. This parts of the truth to that. The way you wrote it, you're stickel guzma.
Exactly how you said it, word for word.
Amoicha. Omer Ula, Omer Shlakish. Tami sheichin is yada lefnim loike. If you are Tomei and you play games, you come to the door of the Beis Hamikdash and you stick your hand in past the threshold, you get Malchus. Is just your hand. We're talking about a Yoledes, a woman who gives birth, and depends on what she gave birth. If she gave birth to a boy, a girl, in the beginning she has more tumah for a girl, 14 days versus 7 days, then later on it's the opposite, it's 33 days versus 66. Al Kaparim, she has the Yimei Tahara, the 66 Yimei Tahara, but the 7 and 14, she's Tomei for 7 or 14 days, girl or boy. So, she's not on b'chol kodesh leisiga. She can't touch anything that has kedusha in the Beis Hamikdash. Makish bia l'negia. Manegia, there's touching and there's going in. Manegia b'miksash manegia. When you touch a vessel, it doesn't matter. You don't have to touch it with your entire body. Even your pinky, you touch the vessel with your pinky. You touched it. Av bia b'miksash ma bia. So too, going in a little bit into the Beis Hamikdash with your hand, you're tamei, you stick your hand through the door into a window of the Beis Hamikdash, it's considered as if your whole body went in, you get Malchus. What's in get to us? And again, I'm not a Rav and I'm not pasking. I'm just throwing it out there so you think about it. I personally never kissed the kaisel in my life. Why? Because when I was a kid, my father told me, we don't touch the kaisel. Why? So there's a tzad, especially for Chazanish and Brisk, that the actual kaisel, the Arabs built houses on the kaisel, so they rubbed off a millimeter of it, so now you're going into the Har Bayis. That's one thing. The other thing is that the way the stones work, if you look at it, each row of stones is a little bit in. It's like steps, if you look at it. So the bottom, another problem. Another problem is that if you go into the Menorot HaKotel, you're actually standing you're over the wall, the way you're in the fine. Another problem is the cracks in the wall, where you take a letter, you write a thing to Hashem, you put it between the stones. Now between the stones, they hold is already Har Bayis, and you didn't go to the mikveh. You have to go to the mikveh, not only go to the mikveh, you have to do Erev Shemesh, you have to go the next day, you have to go the day before to the mikveh, make sure it's Erev Shemesh, then you can go. So now, what's what?
You know, the wall, the kaisel is not the wall of the Beis Hamikdash. It's an extension.
Okay.
Built afterwards.
Whoa. What do you mean it's extension they built afterwards? The part on top, but the part on the bottom is there from Zman HaBayis. The part on the bottom is from Har Bayis. It's a retaining wall.
It's a retaining wall.
So you're saying that the Har Bayis doesn't come all the way out to the kaisel? Okay, that's your thing. Fine.
It was built by a guy, right?
No. I think you're mixing two things up. No, not that. That wall was not. No, that's.
No, the extension is built by Herod.
No, not that part. Not that part. Herod is the top part.
Oh, the top part is much.
No, I don't think. No. I think you're using two things. Now, what is the svara? Let me just say, what is the svara of those who say? Why do they say? A lot of people say that you're allowed to put letters into the kazan. You're allowed to kiss it. Why? Well, the kissing part, the outside, the letters. I'm talking about putting your hand through the stones. Because they say, what's the problem? Biba mixas shmo bia. You put your finger in, it's as if your whole body went in. So they say no. Biba mixas shmo bia is if you have a doorway and you stick your hand in, you could go through the door. And you don't go through the door. You stick your hand in, it's as if you went through. But you can't fit your body through a crack. So you can't say that you stuck your finger in that crack, that your whole body went through the crack. That's the other svar. I'm just saying the two sides of the people. I think most people do touch the kaisel. So the Gemara. Eisvei Rabbi Yishaya Lula. Mitzar shechal shmina shaloi liyos be'erev Pesach. Yishmak. A very cool sugya. Mitzara goes through a huge process of becoming tar. And one of the things he has to do, as we saw the video, I'll show you again. He has to go through, let's just, you know what, I'll show it now. Where is it? The smelly sack video. Oh. One of the things he has to do is he has to give his right toe and his right finger and his right ear, and the kohen puts the blood and the oil on it. It's a whole long thing. Cut your hair. That's why this guy is bald. V'chulu v'chulu. Now he goes to the mikvah. And then after the mikvah, what is he? After the mikvah, he's a tful yoim. The next day he has to bring karbanos. He's a mechusar kippurim until he brings the karban. Okay. What happened was, it's Erev Pesach. If he doesn't get his full process done, what's going to happen? He's tamei and he cannot eat the karban Pesach. His luck would have, v'ra keri boy bayoim v'toval. He was about carry that last day. About carry typically could go to the mikveh that day and becomes tar at night. The problem is that he's a tful yom. After you go to the mikveh, you're still a tful yom. A tful yom cannot enter the Beis Hamikdash. So what do you do? If he doesn't go into the Beis Hamikdash, he remains tamei. But the Torah says he could go into the Beis Hamikdash with the tumah of his tzuras. He's still a tamei as a mitzayra. He can go into the Beis Hamikdash. Now, there's a problem. He can't go in, and you can't take the blood out to him. So what do you do? But the Torah says he has to do the blood, but you can't bring the blood outside. So what do? This is what you do, Rabbi Isai. That's the laser beam. He's not allowed to go past the laser. So the Kohen yanks his ear, I guess. He's showing that he pulls his ear in, and he puts a dot of blood on his ear. And here's his thumb, his toenail, the whole big toe. Givaldik. But the problem is more than that. That's a regular mitzvah. But now he's also about carry. And about carry cannot go into the Beis Hamikdash. There's no heter in the Torah for him to go in. So what do you do? No other tful yoim about carry cannot go to Harabais. Zen nichnas. I'm talking nichnas means Harabais over here. Zen nichnas. He could go into the Harabais. Why? Both of them are Issa D'Oraisa. But look what it says in the pasuk. If you are tar, you have zero excuses. You're not traveling. You're not traveling. You're too lazy. You don't bring a karban pesach. What's that halacha? For not bringing a karban pesach. So what is this guy supposed to do? Not bring his karban pesach. Not go through the prezatara. He gets karas. Not go into the Beis Hamikdash is also not a karas. It's Issa D'Oraisa. So what we say is, do the karas one, so that you don't get karas. In other words, be over on going into the Beis Hamikdash for Tumah, so you don't get the karas of not bringing karban pesach. Correct. Why? Because it has karas. Because of karas. Here it says, Yava yasei sheyesh by karas. To me, it seems like it's the karas that shows that it's more chamor. V'yitcha yasei shein by karas. And the other one doesn't have kares, it's not as chum. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, now we're just going off a little bit. Zvar Torah afilu asayim by a tful yom doesn't have a problem going into the Beis Hamikdash. Shenemar v'yamud yoyishavat b'kal. It was something invented, so to speak, later on in later generations by Yoyishavat. B'kal Yerushalayim Beis Hashem l'fnei chatzar chadasha. My chatzar chadasha. What's this new chatzar? It's not a new chatzar. There's chidushim. Fine, that's Rabbi Yochanan. He says it's not a problem. But the rest you let it go into the Har Beis. Now, but if a little bit of your ear goes over here, Reuven didn't see this last night, so this is for Reuven. If a little bit of your ears past the laser beam, how could this Mitzayra who's a Tful Yom put his ear inside the base, inside the Azara? So what if he's standing outside? A little bit of his ears is like his entire ear. Now all of a sudden you have another car. Now you're up against a kares and a kares. Who says that the kares of Pesach wins? From you, I could answer this. This is beautiful. Once the Torah tells you that you're a Mitzayra and you have a tremendous amount of Tumah, don't worry about the Tumah. Go to the Beis Hamikdash. So it peels off the keri also. Omer Rav Yosef. So over here, the Gemara is going to correct this right away. If we know there's a concept called Tumah Hutra B'tzibur. If most of Klal Yisrael is Tomei Meis, they went to Levaya or something, then 51% of Klal Yisrael is Tomei Meis, then you can bring a Korban Pesach, you can bring Korbanos, even though they are Tomei, or if most of the Kohanim are Tomei, they can perform the Avodah. What if most of Klal Yisrael were Zavim? They saw in a mission, or two, whatever it is, they are Zavim. And afterwards, they added to that Tumah another Tumah called Tomei Meis. Now the Torah only talks about the Tumah of the Meis is removed. So once we remove the Tumah of the Meis, Shalom Aleichem over there in the corner, I didn't notice you. How are you doing? What's your name? From Lakewood. Shalom Aleichem. Who else is new here? I was spacing out. Oh, in the back. Shalom Aleichem. You're new, right? What's your name? Andy. From? Borough Park. Shalom Aleichem, Andy. All right. Sorry. All the new guys. You guys said Shalom Aleichem from London. You said, what's your names? Sternman? Sternberg. And you? Shalom Aleichem, Shlomi. Okay. And you said your name? Zinger. You remember? Jeez, maybe I have to trust you with the story now.
Maybe you should trust me.
Reuven Zav and Nasut Mei Meis. They all start off with the lower tomb of Zav, and they added the large tomb of Meis. We're late. What do we do? So, says the Gemara, we'll just do another minute or two. Since we say that the tumah of mace peels away, so too the tumah of the ziva. I don't understand what you're talking about. Midami, tumah ishtari, ziva lo ishtari. What happened? What came first? The tumah of the ziva came first. What came second? Tumas HaMeis. So I'm peeling off the second thing. How in the world, by taking off the second thing, will it remove the first tumah? And we'll see in a second, the more of this. Maybe what you meant to say, says Abaya. Reuben Tamei Mason, this makes a lot more sense. If Klal Yisrael were Tamei Meis, they all went to Levaya. And then afterwards you added a second tumah called V'nasu Zavim, Hoil V'hudru Tumah. Since the Torah says that the Tumas Meis, the first tumah is peeled away. Yesterday, middle shir, I thought about a nice mashal, to me at least, because I'm a contractor. If you paint the wall black, and afterwards you paint the wall white. So Gemara says, if you remove the black paint, what comes off with it? The white. If you take off the first layer, the Tumas Meis, you have to remove the second layer as well. But if you only take off the second layer, the white, what are you going to have? You're going to have the black is going to remain there. Over here also says Abaya. If you remove the Tmei Meis, which is the second layer, the first layer stays there. So the guy's still Tamei. Immediately you have to say they're removing the first layer, the Tumas Meis. Once you remove the first layer, everything peels off with it. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. This is like in the middle of the sugya. Let's stop over here because we're late. Rabbi Say, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.